Rounding turn 4, it's Kevin Harvick storming the lead with Josh Berry chasing him close behind in second.
And rounding out the back of the pack, it's 43rd. Dirk McQuickley racing for the team currently without any points. McQuickley's got a lot of ground to cover in the next 93 laps if he's going to take the podium tonight.
Yeah, well, Harvick's had a hell of a winning streak so far. The last 3 checkered flags have gone
and
to...
McQuickley hasn't so much as finished a race, Tristan, and nobody from nowhere, with not so much as a top 10 to his name, this rookie's got a real capacity to shake up the chase.
Well, Kevin Harvick...
Uh-oh! Number 23 has got McQuickley pinned to the wall. That rat bastard's gonna get his, and... Oh no! Quickly is sideways! His bumper has come clean off, folks. Oh, and that black smoke is not a good sign. It looks like Dirk McQuickley will not be finishing another race here at Bristol. He gave it his best, but this race is completely over.
Jeff, there are still 93 laps to go.
Not for McQuickley, there's not. This has been another premature event. Sorry for all you folks listening, but the race today has come to a disappointing end. From Bristol Motor Speedway, I'm Jeffrey Boggess.
And I am Tristan Moore.
And Hard Ticket starts now.
It's a hard ticket at the movies.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hard Ticket, the show where we go to the movies expecting a double feature, only to find that both movies are playing at the exact same time. So, now we've got a hard ticket to choose between the two. I'm Jeff Boggess.
And I'm Tristan Moore.
And joining us today, we have a very special guest from the Head on a Stick podcast. Say hi, special guest.
What's up, you It's your boy, Aaron Radcliff. Come back like MacArthur to take over this podcast. But yeah, I'm the co-host of Head on a Stick and now also Doc on a Stick.
Oh my Doc God. On a Stick, tell us about that.
It's basically Head on a Stick, but about documentaries.
Head on a Stick, tell us about that.
It's basically like Doc on a Stick, but about horror movies.
Well, we got to find an entry point here.
I say it's about heads, and that would have been way more interesting.
Yeah, no, Aaron was on with us last year when we were doing our Hard Ticket to Halloween because you, of course, specialize in horror movies. And you entered our sweepstakes for the Oscars and were the ultimate winner. You beat Jake Taylor by 1 award. How many did you get right?
20 out of 24.
That's very impressive.
It's funny. I was talking to Tristan about this before we started. First of all, I completely forgot whenever I joined in that it was going to be to pick an episode. I was just like, I just want the bragging rights.
Yeah.
But also, in the sake of fairness, had I actually picked my own personal choices rather than who I thought would have won, Jake would be the one sitting here right now.
Oh, I don't think Jake picked his own personal choices either.
Because I would have picked Timmy and I would have picked Wunmi Mokasu over Amy Madigan.
Yeah, no, we're finally delivering on our promise to let you take over. You gave us a lot of matchups to choose from, and you couldn't let us escape the Oscars by too much.
I mean, I gave you like 6 different options.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna read them all off, but like I specifically was like, look, I'm indecisive. You guys can decide which one you think would be the better
but Aaron,
episode.
But Aaron, one of your matchups was like a hardcore porno matchup.
Yes, it was Gaspar Noé's Love versus I don't remember the director's name, but it was In the Realm of the Senses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought it would have been really funny to hear you guys try and like navigate around 2 movies that have...
But you'd have to join us for that conversation.
Just a bunch of heavy breathing throughout the entire episode.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be flexible and let us contribute to...
Like the actresses, yeah.
No.
And we are doing a racing matchup today, which is fun for, I think, the 2 of us, and I can't speak for Tristan.
I love racing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Prove it.
My favorite race car driver is Kevin Harvick.
Is that right?
Yeah. He always wins.
Oh, yeah. Name 5 Kevin Harvick songs. I bet you can't.
Cut this all out, please.
Okay, Tristan, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce us to option number A for today's discussion.
Yes, option number A is a movie that Aaron Radcliffe has picked. It's called Days of Thunder. Came out in 1990, directed by Tony Scott of Top Gun fame. And also joining us from Top Gun is Tom Cruise as Cole Trickle. I was wondering who's going to laugh when I say the names. We got Robert Duvall as Harry Hogg.
Wait, is that his actual name in this?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't write down their names. I definitely would have remembered that.
Michael Rooker as Rowdy Burns.
Yes.
Yeah. And we got John C. Reilly, Nicole Kidman, Randy Quaid. There's a ton of people in this movie.
Did you know this is our third both Tom Cruise and Randy Quaid movie?
Yes. I was like
equal stature in Hollywood, of
Randy
course.
Quaid, yeah. It was after Independence Day and Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
We got Days of Thunder.
Where do we even go from here if we want to continue the Quaid?
It's all downhill from here. This movie is basically just Top Gun, but with cars, with race cars.
Well, that's a bit reductive, but that's what everybody says. So go on.
It's a bit reductive, but it is true. It just follows an unproven stock car driver named Cole Trickle, who tries to prove his mettle on the racetrack. And it's about can you make a driver out of a man? Does the man make the car? Is he going to get the girl who's a brain surgeon? Is there going to be a freeze frame triumphant ending at the end? The answer to all these questions, maybe. This is a very orange movie, and that's all I'll say about it.
It is very orange. There's like a reddish tint at the top of the frame for a majority of it.
What's
Not
that
much
all
into-
about?
Yeah, it's just somebody dipped the lens in
In paint,
yeah.
The fires of vehicular combat.
Mordor.
Right, yeah. I was going to say that like cough syrup that you mix cocktails with, whatever. It's grenadine. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Somebody
cough
dipped in-
syrup that you mix cocktails with.
Yeah,
You
I'm
mean
a little
Pepto-Bismol?
under the weather lately, so it's on my mind. But we are putting Days of Thunder up against, at Aaron's request, F1 2026 Oscar contender. Came out last year, June 2025, huge summer blockbuster.
Yep.
This is a movie that you had to see on a big screen.
Uh-huh.
I didn't. You didn't, Tristan. You almost went 3 times,
I
right?
almost went and saw F1. I'll tell my F1 story again. I almost went and saw F1 3 times. I canceled my ticket to see F1 3 times. I just couldn't drive across like the city to go see a 2.5 hour movie about a race car. I couldn't.
Aaron, you saw it, right?
Yeah.
In the theaters.
Yes. Yeah.
Where you
Well, you
Well,
work at a movie theater. It's a little different.
well, even if I didn't, I would have seen it because, like, I try to, as best as I can, anytime there's a new movie out, unless it's just getting like absolutely horrendous reviews, then I'll try to go see it. Usually the first day. So,
what's the last movie that came out that you were going to see, but then it got really bad reviews, and you just were like, "I'm not going to do it."
Yeah, you still brave it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it didn't play around here, so I guess this doesn't count. But I was really looking forward to Psycho Killer, and then it
Oh,
debuted
damn.
with like a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
So
dear.
I was like, I'll just wait for streaming.
Yeah, no. Well, F1 debuted with thunderous praise, relatively. For a blockbuster, it's got pretty good ratings, 82% Rotten Tomatoes, 3.6 Letterboxd. These are good scores. Stars Brad Pitt. It's a Brad Pitt vehicle. He's an F1 race car driver. Well, actually, he's just kind of a race car driver. He'll drive anything. He's
Yeah.
like the Anthony Bourdain of vehicles, I
Mm.
suppose. He'll drive
Not
a
as
Jeep.
handsome though.
Well, no, not even close. That man is a legend.
Yeah, Brad Pitt, get this cow off my screen.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Pitt plays Sonny Hayes, who had an accident on the track when he was just an up-and-comer, never really made a name for himself, and he should have never raced again, we find out later in the film, because of the side effects that happened from this crash. But he gets pulled back into the game by Javier Bardem, Ruben Cervantes. Is that how you say his character's name?
I would imagine like Cervantes.
Cervantes, yeah, whatever. Yeah. They used to race together against each other back in the
Right.
day. Now they're old pals, and he comes to him at like a laundromat or something like that. Not an important plot detail, and no reason to recount that, but I did anyway. He approaches him. He says, "Hey, come race for me. I got a team. I got an open slot. We need you. You're our Hail Mary, basically."
Oh yeah. And then he says, "You son of a bitch, I'm in."
He does say that. He says, "Come here, you son of a bitch." Actually, a little variation on the "you meddling kids" catchphrase in these kinds of movies. So he pulls him in. He shows up. He's got to go head to head with his own teammate, Joshua Pierce, played by damn son Idris.
Damn, son.
I think it's Damson, but could be wrong. Never seen that name before. And his car is engineered by Carrie Condon, who kind of rounds out the primary cast. She plays Kate McKenna, who is the chief engineer for the F1 team. So the whole movie's about Sonny Hayes and Joshua Pierce learning to get along and respect each other and respect the game and race, and a lot of cool technical stuff happening in this movie.
Yeah, they go fast. They put cameras on cars.
They go supersonic. Yeah, Panavision designed a cool apparatus for capturing like really, really smooth and quick pans on these cars that are going, like hundreds of miles an hour. It's a cool technical movie. Sort of a lot of people said it was the token technical
nomination for
Best Pick this past year. So without further ado, this is Days of F1-der. So Aaron, you picked this matchup. Now we're going into our log lines to kind of, capitalize on the similarities here. I'm assuming you have a log line prepared today.
So I wasn't sure how many I needed, so I did one for both movies, and then I also did one about both of them.
Let's hear them.
All right. You like Top Gun? Well, what if we made Top Gun about NASCAR? You like Top Gun Maverick? Well, what if we made Days of Thunder about F1? You like the Top Gun movies? Well, what about hot speed demons and mean racing machines? Speed.
I drive. Who says that? Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah. No, Ryan Gosling.
I drive.
I drive. He's probably said it before, like at least once.
Okay, Tristan, why don't you hit us with yours? That was beautiful, by the way.
Let me pull
Aaron.
it up here. I wrote
Well
it down.
played.
I wrote it down. Vroom, 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 vroom. Crash. That's it.
Is that? Are you saying both of these movies end with a crash?
They don't end with a crash, but there is a crash.
Yeah, there is a crash.
There's a couple crashes. There's one where a car goes flying through the air, and I leapt off my sofa. I was like, holy shit, he's dead. And I shouldn't be laughing about it because that actually happens in real life.
It's just a movie, though.
Yeah. So it would have been awesome if he did die in the movie.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to hit you guys with my log line.
All right.
A struggling auto racing team recruits a Hail Mary driver who will make or break their season. Initially, he butts heads with a skilled rival, but the two develop a friendly understanding as a scheming team owner/board member makes moves against his own team and its fatherly team leader. And a mid-movie crash threatens to put our protagonist out of the film, but ultimately his former rival takes a harder hit, and an attractive blonde in a much more impressive STEM field falls for our intrepid hero. And plenty of cameos by real-life race car drivers pop up throughout. And both movies play fast and loose with the functionality of each sport. And Hans Zimmer.
You can see why I chose these two movies.
I gotta say, Aaron, you really had your finger on the pulse with this matchup. I was reading a little bit online. There's like an actual F1 movie that it takes place in the 70s but came out in 2013. Tristan, you've seen it. You rated it 1 star on Letterboxd.
Oh, I did. Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, it's called Rush.
It's called Fast, I think.
No, this is a Chris Hemsworth one.
Yeah,
Rush.
Rush.
Sylvester
Yeah,
Stallone.
Rush.
I've watched this.
I think so. Maybe this is a different one, actually. There's a couple that
I'm
you could
thinking
have
of the
chose
one
from.
that Sly Stallone was in, but you guys... I'm going to look it up while you guys talk.
Aaron, I had never even heard of Days of Thunder before you proposed this.
Really?
I was sorely missing out, I gotta say.
It was like the kind of, well, especially for NASCAR, but just kind of also in general, it was like one of the racing movies, at least until freaking Talladega Nights came along and completely just like kneecapped any credibility.
Yeah, it took a lot of
had in the public
inspiration.
eye.
I gotta say, but NASCAR people love Talladega Nights. It's Driven. That's what it is. That's the Stallone one. So it could have been Driven, could have been Rush, but no, this This really, and this is also, there's sort of a sleeper kind of thing we can do here.
Oh, yeah.
We can compare Top Gun to Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
Because we got.
That was another reason why, one of the things I was thinking about.
Yeah. And F1 is such a Tony Scott movie, but Days of Thunder is actually more of a Jerry Bruckheimer movie. Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson, who they were like the power duo back in the 80s and 90s. They did Top Gun, obviously, Beverly Hills Cop, Bad Boys, Crimson Tide, The Rock. Did you guys read that article I sent you?
I skimmed it.
I skimmed it.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. It's been a busy work week.
Well,
They
basically,
immediately open about Tony Scott's suicide, and I was like, man, I don't want to keep reading this.
yeah, no, it's sad. It's sad what happened to Tony Scott. Don Simpson of the power producing duo also died, but he died of cocaine intake at the age of 52. So this truly is a bygone era of filmmaking here in Days of Thunder. But do we capture a little bit of it in F1? Maybe.
I mean, did Top Gun Maverick capture a little bit of that Top Gun energy? I mean, for a lot of people, it did.
Oh, I absolutely think it did.
Yeah.
And I was watching F1 and I was thinking to myself, like, I don't remember Maverick being like this cheesy. I mean, I know it was cheesy, but it was like there was some stuff in F1 that was like, I think kind of breaking the suspension of disbelief a little bit. And then I looked at like the writing credits and everything. And Kosinski actually has a writing credit on F1, whereas he doesn't on Maverick. And I'm starting to think that maybe that's my biggest issue with F1 is Kosinski's actual like contribution to the script.
Yeah, because I don't think he directed that, or he did direct. I don't think he wrote that Tron movie that he did before Maverick either.
Oh, Legacy?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I've heard it's good. But
Yeah, I've heard it's good as well.
It is good.
Yeah. But I don't think he's been much of a writer. I think he's been more of like a spectacle director. And Bruckheimer, who, produced on Days of Thunder, Top Gun, he came back and produced on F1. So you've got half of the power producing team of the 80s and 90s who's back on board for F1. The article is so interesting, though, because it was about like how, Heaven's Gate, like killed auteur cinema at the end of the 70s, and then Days of Thunder killed the end of auteur cinema when the 90s showed up. And so like all of a sudden directors started like being trusted by producers to kind of execute their vision more often. And a lot of people say, or at least I was reading a lot of people's like in these article comments saying that Crimson Tide is Tony Scott's best movie. And that's in the 90s when he started to kind of gain his footing, which Days of Thunder made money back. It didn't make Top Gun money, which I think is what they were banking on.
Right.
But
And it ran over budget, right?
oh, it ran over budget. Yeah, it almost doubled its budget, I think. I think it clocks in around 60 million. It was supposed to be 35, 40 million, but production was tumultuous. Folks, you can read all about that online. It's thoroughly covered everywhere. I mean, so it's a good matchup.
What's going on?
He's had second thoughts.
You said you'd look at him.
I've looked at him.
I paid $2,500 to use his track today, Harry.
Forget it. He needs a brand name like Exxon or Richard Petty.
Well, I know a damn race driver when I see one.
What's going on, Harry? Is this happening or what?
Do us all a favor, Harry.
With respect, Ruben, I cannot condone we spend our only test day giving your long-lost teammate an audition.
Gaspar, you misunderstand. We're not auditioning him. He's auditioning us.
That's your new driver. Good luck.
Aaron, like, what's your history with Days of Thunder? I mean, because F1, it just came out last year, but what's the background there?
So the last few years, I've kind of fallen out a little bit with NASCAR just because like a lot of the drivers that I grew up with have since retired, and they keep like doing all this dumb competition things that kind of mess up the product.
Yeah.
But I would still say in general, I've been a NASCAR viewer / fan since like mid 2000. So I did get to see a couple Dale Earnhardt races before he kicked it.
Oh, nice.
And then like my dad had a VHS copy of this. So just being a NASCAR kid, I'd watch this all the time. I loved it. And then like I mentioned earlier with Talladega Nights, that's kind of the thing now people nowadays kind of think whenever they think of like a NASCAR movie. You see like parodies that South Park ended up doing, very much kind of inspired from like the dumbness that Talladega Nights inspired. But I just always liked Days of Thunder because it felt like, yeah, it's got some cheesy moments and whatnot, but it felt like it took the sport seriously.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like, nah, this stuff is actually really cool. It's not just guys driving in circles for 4 hours. Nowadays they add at least like 6 road course races. But F1, I dabble in watching F1, but I don't really like waking up at like 3 a.m. to watch like the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So I just kind of vaguely follow it. But I don't know. When I was watching F1 in the theaters, I was like, this is really good. Didn't strike me nearly as much as Maverick did, which I saw. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I actually saw Maverick in theaters.
Oh, yeah.
But as I finished, I was like, this is literally just a more sanitized, higher budget, longer version, corporatized version of Days of Thunder. And honestly, if they were to remake it, I wouldn't be mad if Joseph Kosinski redid it, because he's definitely got the technical skills to do it. Just need a better writer.
Well, apparently Kosinski wants to do he's doing a sequel to, I think, F1, and there is going to be a sequel to Days of Thunder. And Kosinski's dream project is making it like a crossover between the two. So you get Tom Cruise's, what is it, Dirk Trickle?
Cole Trickle.
Cole Trickle, yeah.
Dirk McQuickie.
You get him going up against Sonny Hayes. Like,
oh my God.
And I mean, that could actually work nowadays, because, back in the 90s when, and like even in the early 2000s, like you might have guys who used to race like maybe not Formula One, but Indy cars. You had like the Andretti's and all these others that would, come into NASCAR. And then you would sometimes have guys who would show up specifically for the road courses, known as like road course ringers. But over the last 10-ish years, 15-ish years, you've started seeing a greater influx of drivers from different, motor racing, apparatuses. You got like rally car guys coming in who are winning like 5 consecutive races. You're getting like all this crazy stuff. So it could definitely work if you want to do a crossover.
It's interesting because both of these movies feature a person who's not experienced in the field, and it's kind of their rise to becoming number one. Tom Cruise is like, he's out from California, and that's why he looks like a movie star as compared to all of the, the actors they're clearly trying to cast in order to be working class looking people. Robert Duvall, Randy Quaid. They put Randy Quaid in a suit like he's the silver tongue.
Well, he's like a snake oil salesman, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom Cruise comes in and he's like wearing this California overcoat and everything, pretty boy. And you also have Cary Elwes. Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
He shows up in this movie as like the villain, and he's also kind of like the pretty boy stereotype. Everybody else in this movie, though, is like your stock NASCAR, like kind of Bubba stereotype a little bit. Does this movie play into stereotypes?
I didn't. Well, at the very beginning where they're showing all the different Confederate flags flying, that was like, okay, that's like not a really fun reminder, but
that's not even a stereotype. Like that's just
true,
it
is honest. I mean,
I feel like
that.
maybe a little bit exaggerated, but I don't think. Well, not the Confederate flags. It's definitely accurate, but like I wouldn't say necessarily stereotypes,
even with the names, like Harry Hog.
No, because especially especially at this time, you had like. Some of the guys that these guys are based off of, like Cole Trickle, like even though this was before Jeff Gordon was in the Cup Series, if you watch it with the modern eye, you're going to be like, oh, he's a Jeff Gordon stand-in, but he was actually a stand-in for Tim Richmond. Yeah. Fun fact, Dick Trickle is the real-life driver that his name is inspired by. But I mean, you have guys like, Rusty Wallace, freaking like Bobby Hamilton, like all these like. And then you have like, especially when you start getting like older and older NASCAR guys, like these are guys who were probably started their careers somewhere in like the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. And a lot of them were more Southern guys. So it totally would have actually tracked that a lot of them had like either names or nicknames like that.
It's just part of the pageantry.
Yeah, it's not like now. Yeah, it's not like nowadays where you have guys from like all over where like anybody with like enough scratch can like, field a car or whatever. You have more.
I see. It was more like culturally Southern also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because this whole thing, it basically formed out of moonshiners and bootleggers just trying to outrun the cops. And they're like, my car is faster than your car. All right, let's race on the beach. And then it just started building from there.
Is that really the origins of NASCAR?
More or less, yeah.
Wow.
Like, there was one guy, I don't remember what his name was, but there was this famous story about he was literally in a police chase by the cops, and he managed to evade them, get home, and he was such a good mechanic that he replaced the engine in his car fast enough that by the time the cops found him, they were like, well, it couldn't possibly be me. See, this engine is cold. And they felt it, and they're like, it's a cold engine. This clearly that car has not been running. And he got away with it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think NASCAR and stock car racing was like sort of one of the bigger windows into like this Eastern culture. It's almost the closest thing they had to Hollywood. Like you had your stars who were bigger than life itself, the big names, Richard Petty, the king is what they called him, you know? And you had like, how different is the streak of misogyny we see in the NASCAR culture from the streak of misogyny in Hollywood that, like, you know, actresses getting, you know, you got to blow your way to the top basically because all the producers have won over you. Like, okay, the role when we meet Nicole Kidman in Days of Thunder,
Oh my god,
I forgot about that part.
the first scene is Tom Cruise mistaking her for a stripper after previously being pranked by Robert Duvall's character. He like hires a girl to play a cop and pull him over who's like,
It got real ornery.
she's not a cop.
I thought that scene was there to prove that Tom Cruise isn't gay. Like, I thought that's why they put that in there. They're like, we just want to make sure you like women. Didn't they say that to him? And he's not. He's not gay. Like,
Well,
he likes women.
Yeah,
He likes women, not men.
His character, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, you know, he like the first thing he does is he puts her hand on his crotch, and it's like a sexual assault scene. Like, and 2 scenes later, they're like going out. But that's like, you know, you look at that, and all the guys in the room are laughing, right? They're like, oh, it's so funny. he's assaulting this woman. But in like, it's got this like boys will be boys streak, you know, if you really want to call it what it is, it's misogyny. But again, like the Confederate flag, that's honest. That's an honest thing right there that this movie's doing. Like, and a character like Michael Rooker's character, he even says like, if it had been anybody but a damn woman doctor, I'd have been back on the track years ago. And he's punished for that kind of thinking. He doesn't go to the doctor because he's sexist against the doctor. Like, doesn't necessarily let all these characters get off the hook for stuff like that. But yeah, it also is like kind of hard to watch. You know, like you don't laugh at it anymore.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple times I was like, like it's been a few years. I kind of don't remember that part.
And when his
Like-
second Carrie Condon's introduced, you know she's going to get with Brad Pitt's character. So.
Yeah, they do make like a big like kind of thing about her being a woman who's like leading this team because like Brad Pitt's like, how do a woman like you get to lead a team?
Oh,
How
it
do
is
I-"
a male-dominated field.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's not. He doesn't do it in like a condescending way, but it is like the elephant in the room. And then there's also like a woman like pit worker, right? Is that what they call them? Like the
Yeah.
pit people.
Yeah,
The
pit crew.
The pit people.
No, those were
Um,
doctors.
And she's like she's like the main kind of character in the pit crew, and like her whole journey is like becoming like competent and like not nervous like while she's working the pit. And so that kind of feels like another thing where it's like anybody can do it. Like it doesn't matter. We're breaking barriers here
Yeah,
In
basically-
2025.
in 2025, the big 25.
Well, like I said when I kind of was talking about F1, it's very much like a kind of, I don't want to say sanitized, but like, perfectly kind of primed, corporate product, because I mean, this is an Apple production.
Yes.
Had the full blessing of F1. Apple now carries F1 races, so you can watch them on Apple TV. But I feel like both movies, and also kind of just how they're presented, but also kind of how the characters act, kind of also reflect, especially for the time, but even just like in general, if you kind of compare them, people, think of NASCAR, you think it's like, oh, this is like, the bro-y drinking, just hanging out with my boys, and we're just having fun and doing whatever type thing. That kind of form of like, misogyny and things like that. Whereas F1 is like, well, no, we're the more corporate ones. You're like, oh, we get away with it, but it's just like, it's a lot easier because we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Or, we're able to, because we're like a multi-billion-dollar teams, like everybody like, has to make sure that like all their like ducks are in a row.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It was a cool dichotomy between, I said dichotomy, between like the really tactile NASCAR stuff, especially from like the 80s and the 90s, where like, you actually click a timer every time they do a lap. It's not like a computer timing everything like in F1, which is very sleek, very smooth. The camera moves are designed to be as fluid as possible. And it really pays off at the end when you get that scene of Sonny Hayes finishing his final race and winning by like a lot. You just get like basically a minute where he's home free and he's flying. Kerry Condon.
Oh, yeah.
He's flying. That's such a good
It's awesome.
moment right there. Contrast that with like NASCAR, where Robert Duvall has that scene where he's like, here are his tires when he did it his way. Here are his tires when he did it my way. And you like literally see the tire like scorched up and torn apart. Like there's a tactility there that I really appreciate. And in the filmmaking.
It's like an analog versus digital thing. Like everything is computers in F1. And so the person actually in the driver's seat is what makes the car stand out that much more. Whereas in Days of Thunder, it's more like man and machine kind of working together as one and finding that synchronicity. I mean, Robert Duvall is like talking sweet to his car. Like, you know, he's like
The leaky car.
the car yeah, it's like crying. He's like, don't worry, baby. Tom Cruise, he's not gay. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It's really great. It's but F1 is like it's so much about like we got to get that 0.25 seconds. Like it's all about that like extra little bit. They're doing like computer simulations and they have like a wind tunnel and just all this crazy stuff. It's like a Boeing movie or like a Northrop Grumman movie. Like it's like a military technology versus like the little tiny piddly cars in NASCAR. It's like a completely different vibe.
And I think that honestly is how I feel, but also I think perfectly encapsulates why I still prefer NASCAR over F1. Like my whole issue with F1, like the actual sport, and you see it on display in the movie, is like it's about like, you know, shaving off that little bit of extra time. It has always felt to me like, and people will tell you, it's like, yeah, these are the best drivers in the world. And yeah, you got to be. There's like some insane physical and technical ability you have to be able to do. But also, nobody denies that it's all about the car. It's all about like you're here to watch the car. You know, it's like horse racing. It's like the car is Seabiscuit. The car is Secretariat. You're just the jockey. You can be good and you can pilot it, but as long as the horse can run and run fast, that's all that we really need.
Yeah.
Whereas in NASCAR, and especially they even say it in Days of Thunder, you know, like in theory, like all the cars are the same.
Right.
You know, there's obviously like, you know, people will like do things to like, get that advantage or whatnot. But there's a lot more because of the style of racing. It is much more reliant, on just kind of the entire team, but also the driver himself. He's got to be able to navigate. Like if you're at Talladega, you got to be able to navigate 200 laps of like somebody literally up your ass and your nose up somebody else's ass the entire race, and like a can of sardines just moving all around the track. And I just always felt that it was more entertaining, even if it is just like 4 hours of in a circle, because I don't know, there's a lot more kind of unpredictability to it.
Yeah.
F1, I felt like the movie showed more unpredictability than I think there actually is in real life F1.
F1 has reacted, like the people themselves are like, yeah, this movie isn't exactly accurate. But Days of Thunder also has like cars spinning out and just getting right back on the track and still retaining like top 3 positions.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not how that works either.
Oh my God. That just reminded me like one of the egregious things from Days of Thunder, which I get is it's like a plot thing, but it's the inciting like big accident where they have what's called the big one, where like everybody's crashing.
Yeah.
And that's when Cole accidentally like tries to drive through it,
and
he just slams right into Rowdy's car and like injures them both because they were trying to race back to the line. I can't attest for how it was operating in 1990 because I wasn't born yet. But at least in my lifetime, that never would have been allowed. Because, like, if that wreck was happening on turn 2, sure, you can make it back to the start-finish line and slow down in time. But if it's happening in front of the start-finish line, no, you're not going to allow that to happen. You almost, like, let 2 people get killed.
Yeah, are these movies accurate? No. They're definitely not.
But they're exciting.
They are exciting.
And that's what matters, yeah. Now, I have to credit Days of Thunder for making NASCAR racing, driving around in a circle, like understandable to a person like me.
Exciting to a person like you.
Well, not only exciting, but understand. Like, I need to understand it to get excited by it. Like, you can watch a football game, but if you don't know, like, the rules, it's just like, what's going on? But, like, the rules in NASCAR are simple. It's just you drive around in a circle. You have to be the first one to cross the checkered flag. But I never understood, like, what makes somebody a better driver. Like, my thing, I'm watching NASCAR as a kid, and I'm just like, why doesn't that car just go faster than that other car and just pass them? And now I understand that there's something to do about wheels and the position on the track, and the car makes the man, and the man makes the car. Like, you know, like I was in it. Like, I actually kind of understood the sport, because I'm not a sport guy.
Yeah, that's another thing that I like about it. I was actually going to mention was, you know, Days of Thunder, it's a lot more friendly to somebody who maybe doesn't watch NASCAR or know anything about it. They literally have Tom Cruise's character be like, I don't know what you're talking about when we're talking about like taking a bit of the wedge out or like what the deal with like drafting is. Like, we don't have that in my sports or like the stuff that I ran. Whereas F1, it's like, okay, they might say a couple of things for people who don't know stuff like the 10-minute delay or whatever, but otherwise, you're watching the F1 movie. You know how this stuff works.
Yeah,
we don't need to explain it.
You don't really, like, at the end of the day, both these movies are car go fast movies and car wreck, car hit other car movies.
Car flip over into the air, 20 feet into the air, and I jump out of my seat kind of movies.
They never get super complicated, and it's probably for the best. I will say F1 probably makes more sense. I think they kind of feel like they bend over backwards to explain the situation that the team is in, the situation as to like why some people can or can't or should not race. Whereas in Days of Thunder, we just start with Randy Quaid being like, hey, Robert Duvall, build me a car. No reason why. I just want one. And then he builds it and he's like, no, I'm going to do another one.
I also love how he makes that decision after the Daytona 500. So he's like, the second race of the season, now I'm going to start a team.
Oh, yeah. It's brainless. I mean, like, it really is.
Spinal contusion, compressed thoracic vertebrae, further blunt force impact trauma likely to result in vision loss, paralysis, death.
Really lead with the good news, don't they?
This is a report from 30 years ago. Why didn't you tell me?
They say I got a busted blood vessel in my brain. So they want to drill a hole in my head. Get rid of the leaky blood. You think I should let them do it, Cole?
Yeah,
You'd let them if it was you?
I would.
Okay.
We should talk a little bit about Top Gun
Yeah.
and the similarities. Actually, I want to talk about the characters, right?
Yeah.
Because they are both F1 and Days of Thunder. They're so Top Gun coded. Like, you've got the rivals who become friends in both of these movies. It's probably more prominent in F1, obviously, because they're like sort of your leading duo. But Days of Thunder too, you've got, Rowdy and Trickle, who are going
Maverick
head to
and
head.
Iceman.
All it takes,
Iceman.
melting the ice between them only takes one scene where they race on the beach.
Yeah,
Just put the entire citizenry of Miami in danger on their way to a team mandated dinner.
Everybody in Miami already drives like that anyway. I hate to break it to you. But
I saw Bad Boys too. I get it.
yeah, also Jerry Bruckheimer produced the movie, produced all the Bad Boys.
Is that Bad
movies.
Boys also, or Bad Boys 2 as in the sequel?
Bad Boys 2.
Bad
Okay.
Boys as well.
Damn, that would have been a crazy scene to include in Days of Thunder. It's just like some random scene where like Will Smith just shows up at a Klan rally and just like starts popping a bunch of people.
What?
That's like if
You not
Ryan,
see Bad Boys 2? That's
No.
literally how it starts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
was going to
God.
say if Ryan Coogler directed it, probably something like that would happen.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But the characters between these two, like, they're so similar, guys.
They are, yeah.
They're ridiculously similar. Why? It's just like the template.
Yeah, there's a template there, and it works. It worked for Top Gun. It can work for Days of Thunder, and it does. It does. Does Top Gun have a scene where Maverick and Iceman race in wheelchairs? No, it doesn't.
It's just,
We have volleyball.
They do have volleyball.
it
though.
almost feels like there's a draft of Top Gun where that didn't make it into the movie, but they used it for Days
What would
of
they be
Thunder.
doing instead of wheelchairs? Because the wheelchairs make sense because cars have wheels, wheelchairs have wheels. For Top Gun, it would be like they'd be on one of those, like, outside of like grocery stores, like the little like things that like kids get on, like it's like a spaceship
that
They're,
don't
like-
even move.
Yeah, they're on one of those, just like rocking.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or like a bull. I don't know.
I really appreciate that in a Tony Scott joint, that you sort of get this antagonistic character from the beginning and the antagonism melts away
Yeah.
somewhere around the middle or towards the end. Now you do get that one character who comes in and is like the new rival that Tom
Yeah.
Cruise has to fight. But he's like just such a one-dimensional kind of threat. He's not really even a character. He's just somebody to beat.
Right.
Now that you take Rowdy's mantle and you try to finish the race for him.
It's Carrie Elwes with that smug smirk.
Yeah.
If I can give one note of credit to Talladega Nights over Days of Thunder, it does the whole bringing in an outside rival thing way better.
Yeah.
Mainly because, I don't know. I mean, he's a bit of a pest, but Sacha Baron Cohen is really good in that movie.
Yeah. No, Talladega Nights is fantastic. I would prefer that over both of these movies.
Fun
honestly.
fact, I skipped watching a NASCAR race to go watch that in theaters.
You made the right choice, my friend. Do you guys kind of feel like both of these movies struggle off the racetrack?
A little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit, but they're like so vibesy that And it's so beautiful. Like every time, how can it always be golden hour? How can it always be golden hour?
When you have the filter
red.
tinted and grenadine, like, of course it's always good. It's like red hour.
It's just beautiful. Like every time like they go to somebody's farmhouse or whatever, it's the most gorgeous day you've ever seen in your life. So I can't be like bored with it. I'm just like, whoa, I wish I was there right now. Like, I don't want to be like on a racetrack necessarily, but like this movie's just waves, and that's just one of the troughs, and it's okay to be there. You just sort of ride it until the next race scene, and then you're like, whoa, this is so exciting, and then you're ready for it to kind of decrescendo.
But what's the vibe of F1?
It's Expensify and Shark Ninja and Ferrari.
It's very
Northrop Grumman.
It almost feels kind of clinical at times, right?
Yeah,
there's some color in F1 is like surprisingly muted.
It's almost like a black and white film. I think it could have worked as a black and white film. Not that that's like a bad thing, but it has like that kind of hard-edged feel that Maverick had compared to Top Gun. It's the same thing that Kosinski brought to Tron Legacy. Like it's this almost technological feel, and which makes the human characters. It should, in theory, make them stand out more, but sometimes it makes them feel a little bit more robotic to me compared to the characters in Days of Thunder, which do feel like I want to give them all big hugs.
Yeah, like I like the characters and even the character stuff off the track more in Days of Thunder because they feel more like kind of like genuine people with like interesting personalities. Where to some varying extent, you can recognize if you're a NASCAR fan, you can recognize like you can see Dale Earnhardt in Rowdy, you can see X person and this person. Whereas F1, it's like, oh, Brad Pitt's just he's the hot shot. He's the quote unquote, the maverick. And then you have like all these people where it's like, oh, we have woman who, everyone doubted her, but then I've made it to the top. We have arrogant teammate. We have, oh, I just love this team. Guys, it's like, they all just feel like varying stock characters just doing things and they don't feel particularly engaging. You can tell where the story's going. I mean, you can do it the same in Days of Thunder, but it's just, that eventually Joshua and Sonny are gonna, make good and they're gonna maybe win a game or win a race together or something, whereas, Days of Thunder, you're like, okay, well, crap, is Rowdy gonna die because he has like a brain bleed? He has there's some level of uncertainty with some of these characters where, it feels like there's something, whereas like F1 is like I said, the moment, unless you have like a really bad pit stop or a mechanical thing, once you get far enough out, it's just dogs chasing a hare.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that they're like robotic. To me, they're so cartoony in F1.
Oh, really?
Because they have lines that are like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Like they have those trailer moments where he's like, I'm offering you an open seat in F1 racing. Like trailer beat. Cut that. Make sure you get an angle in his face.
That's the clockwork aspect of the film. It's like it feels like that was written to put in a trailer. I do like the Javier Bardem and like Brad Pitt dynamic. I wish they would have leaned more into that because he kind of starts to fade away from the movie after the laundromat scene, which is legendary. But yeah, I do wish they would lean into that more because I wanted a little bit more cartoonishness. More personality, I think. This is like such a grounded movie compared to Days of Thunder.
Does it feel grounded when Brad Pitt's walking onto the racetrack with his shades and his like bag slung over his shoulder without telling anybody that he's flying around the world to show up and race? Like that's the moment. That's the leaning on a motorcycle. Like that's the you son of a bitch.
Who I think would have worked really well as both like the director and also maybe like being involved in the writing and producing? Gore Verbinski.
Yeah,
I'm being serious because like I think you could
Bruckheimer works with Verbinski all the time.
Yeah, like I think you could inject some of that, Pirates of the Caribbean-ness into it.
Well,
and it would have made it feel a little more light. It would have made it feel a little more natural.
Well, Trickle shows up in Days of Thunder on a motorcycle. He shows up to the NASCAR track on a motorcycle, and to me, it's like, okay, that's Brad Pitt walking onto the F1 track. It works better in a place where it feels like the frame around him is built to hold a character like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like his nest. And Brad Pitt, we've seen Brad Pitt already. We've already been with Brad Pitt. We know where he's going to be. It's not that big of a shock to us when he shows up. It's just like, yeah, he flew to England and they took him around back because they thought he was a mechanic or something. And he's just like, oh, sorry, I walked into the wrong place. That's literally like it. Like he's not showing up there dramatically on his motorcycle because he's a California pretty boy. It's just because he's just a dude, which is fine. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that.
I was curious how cool F1 was going to try to make Brad Pitt look. He's a cool looking guy.
Well, and he's got a hot dog, the Snapchat hot dog tattoo on his back, which I guess is pretty cool. Did you guys catch that?
I did not take stock of his tattoos.
I did not.
No.
You guys didn't notice? Seriously?
No.
It was like right in the middle, like when they showed the scar on his back, on his spine.
Yeah, it was more focused on the scar.
But right beside it was the Snapchat hot dog. You know, the one with like the...
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like dancing.
No, I didn't notice.
You missed the Snapchat hot dog? Well, there's your cartoonishness.
I forgot what I was even saying, dude.
Sorry.
Something about his coolness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How cool is this movie going to make him? They make him pretty cool. I think the best scenes of Brad Pitt in F1, I think my favorite scene is when the one reporter is pressing him and he's just giving one-word answers and he gets up and leaves. Like,
yeah.
When he's talking less. And we've seen Brad Pitt turn in like really good performances and like Ad Astra. He's pretty good in Fight Club. He's pretty cartoonish in movies like Snatch and Burn After Reading, but we love him in it. I didn't really feel like, I think he was the problem. I didn't feel the chemistry between him and some of his actors in these scenes. Whereas Tom Cruise, he had chemistry with, I mean, he and Nicole Kidman got married after meeting on the set of Days of Thunder, you know, like.
I don't know. I liked Brad Pitt in this movie. I didn't necessarily buy the romance between him and Carrie Condon, but separate that aspect of his character, he is such a lean, mean machine, and he is just all business. He is almost like this, like, I don't know, like disaffected guru kind of like trait to him, where he's just like, I know what you need to do, and there's going to be no bullshit about it. Like, I'm just going to tell you what you need to do. And I like that. Like, he's like the car that he's driving. He is just this down to the bone, 0% body fat once again after Fight Club.
He's the dad stand-in. He's all the dads watching this movie.
Yeah.
But it's not a cool to be old movie as much as it's a old is not an impediment movie.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit as you both were talking, I was kind of thinking about it, and I was getting a little bit of like if Aldo Rain was a race car driver instead of like a Nazi hunter, where he could just be like, you know, like, we're here to make sure we get our goal achieved, and that is to get this team a point. I believe in every single one of you as I believe in myself. Go fast. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then whenever he needs to be silent and stoic, he'll be silent and stoic. If he needs to like say something, he'll say something. And it's just like, okay, yeah, cool. He's like what you kind of imagine the kind of quote unquote hardened, experienced vagabond to be. Whereas Tom Cruise is like the serious, but also kind of like, hey, let's go. Let's do it.
Tom Cruise is
like, he gets mad at him for like eating ice cream, and so he literally pulls off during the race and fights the crew. Like, that's so much more entertaining than just being like, C for chaos.
Combat. Yeah. No, Tom Cruise is tripping over his dick the entire movie, which is really funny, and like he does feel just like a boy compared to Brad Pitt's like man character, which is why it would be interesting to see an F2. It would be interesting to see that sequel and have Tom Cruise.
Yeah, because they're basically the same character at this point.
They probably would be kind of turned into the same character. Although I could see Tom Cruise being more like the maverick, like take chances, not be as much of a team player. He has to learn to be a team player in Maverick, right? Isn't that like the thing?
In Maverick, he like kind of has to justify his reason as to staying in the same position. That's why Maverick is such a good legacy sequel. It's like, why are you still doing the same thing you were doing in the 80s? It doesn't make sense. You could have had like career trajectory, but you just love flying so much. You don't want to stop doing it.
Is F1 doing the same thing with Brad Pitt?
F1 is doing a very similar thing with Brad Pitt, but the nostalgia it's trying to tap into, that was built into Maverick as a legacy sequel. Introducing it in F1, I just don't think the script has the prowess to give this character like his due. Anytime they cut back to like past footage of Brad Pitt, it's like clearly just him with the wig on.
It looks really bad. No, you're right. It kind of feels like a sequel to a movie that came out in the 90s, in the same way that Days of Thunder is that
Top Gun
90s
coded.
movie.
It's Top Gun coded.
Yeah,
It really
and
is.
also when it comes to like something like Maverick, it was very much, he had that scene with Iceman where he's like, it's like, I don't know who I am without this. This is all I ever have been.
Yeah.
Whereas in F1, it's like, well, I could have been something, but obviously got seriously hurt, which at the time when he makes that initial revelation, we don't know. But, I've gone all around the world and everything, but he's like, it's like it's just it allows me to feel like I have some sense of control. You know, like I have some sense over like I can do something, not so much like, oh, I just love racing because I never want to give it up. It's like it's the only thing that kind of like gives me, you know, not purpose, but like gives me something to like show that like I will not get swallowed up by the world. Whereas I don't think, you know, a character like Maverick necessarily has that fear. He just has that self-identity issue.
Yeah. No, I think that's common in
Old
car movies, because I think that's kind of a thing in Ford v Ferrari too. Which initially we had F1 up against Ford v Ferrari and Gran Turismo in a 3-way matchup.
That's another movie. If you haven't seen it, a car flies up into the air and you're like, holy shit, does this guy die?
That's the one where he says I could dust him in a lap.
Something I don't remember.
Do you guys remember that trailer?
Yeah,
do you remember that trailer?
You threw up on my lawn.
You threw up on my lawn.
Now I don't even
dust him in a lap. Sorry.
Without F1 combining those two, I don't think that matchup works anymore.
No, it doesn't.
No, probably not. But
thanks, Aaron.
No,
got us out of
way
reviewing
better.
3 car movies. Now we just got to do 2.
Yeah.
What do
You're
they call
welcome.
that?
Just whittling away your testosterone, like Tom Cruise.
Imagine a version of F1 where all the logos are blocked out. And can you imagine that? Like everyone's walking around with like black tape over all the logos. they can't say like who's sponsoring them and everything.
It's easier to imagine than one in where all the NASCAR logos are blocked out.
You think so?
Oh yeah, because that's NASCAR's whole thing.
I feel like the NASCAR cars, because they're so just like they're like Skittles. Like I'm just like, ooh, pretty colors. But
well, that's why I loved Jeff Gordon when I was a kid. His car had flames on it.
I thought you liked Jeff Gordon because his name was Jeff.
Also that. Felt seen.
Well, I got a couple quick things. First,
okay,
just one of my favorite lines ever in a movie. It comes from Days of Thunder, where after the first few races go pretty poorly for Cole, the team owner goes and he starts talking to everybody. He goes, you know, we had sponsors out there, and instead we end up looking like a monkey football.
I actually wrote that one down.
I love that line.
I was like, is this movie is one F-bomb? Is this like PG-13?
Also, if sorry that you mentioned that. I noticed that when I was watching F1. Like I know like you can audibly hear like 2 F words in F1, but I had the subtitles on and there was like 4.
Oh, is it PG-13?
It is PG-13.
They call it F1 because they could only have one F-bomb in there.
But one of the other things I kind of wanted your guys' I guess kind of quick opinions on, if anybody knows anything about Days of Thunder, especially in like the NASCAR world, it's the famous rubbing is racing, you know, mentality, which is true. And meanwhile, in, you know, Formula One, and especially in the movie, they're like, oh, like, you know, you don't like these cars are expensive and they're delicate. You don't want to hit them. So Brad Pitt's entire thing is like, I'm just going to rally car these guys. I'm just going to bumper cars these dudes.
Right.
And I was just kind of curious if you feel like those two different approaches to racing. How do I want to ask this? Do you have a preference, or do you think F1 would have been better if it was less shenanigans? Do you think Days of Thunder would have been better if it was more kind of strategy rather than just like beating the shit out of each other's cars?
It's hard for me to imagine either of these movies as anything but what they are. I think F1 wanted to be different from reality because, like you said, if you wanted to watch F1 racing, you could just watch it, you know? If you did something that's more about strategy, less about like, I mean, they are doing strategies, but their strategies are illegal that they're doing in F1. I still think you could make a cool movie. And like, I think just so much of the cinematography in F1 speaks for itself. But yeah, I mean, I would watch it if they did. I don't know if it would make more or less of an impact. Whereas like when I played NASCAR games on my old PS2 as a kid or my PS3, I don't remember which one, I would just turn off cautions and drive backwards on the track, hit the cars head on, see how far they would fly. I think Days of Thunder could use a little more of that.
Like just imagine just someone doing the because I used to play Dirt to Daytona, and sometimes I'd turn off cautions, and there was a cheat code that you could put in where if you press a button, it would literally just shoot like a white cannonball. and so I would go to like places like Daytona or Talladega, and I would just like shoot a cannonball and it just like nail right in the middle of everybody and just like kill them all.
Yeah, I mean that is absolutely like if you just went full balls to the walls, because so much of Days of Thunder is already like, you know, it's gonna hurt your tummy. It's got so much cheese on it. Like it's
Oh my god.
it's so much.
Mozzarella.
They're doing video game movies now. When are they gonna do? What's that game where you're a car and you play soccer?
Rocket League.
Are they gonna do a Rocket League movie? That would be really funny.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I would watch that movie.
But there's actually like people watching in the stands, so you can make the ball hit the people. That would like satiate your all's bloodlust.
Honestly, I'd rather a Rocket Power movie, but you know, that's beside the point.
I just wanted to make a note of a quick dialogue exchange I wrote down when Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman are having like a moment, and she's like deep in thought, or he thinks she is, and he says, "What are you thinking?" And she says, "Just how much I'd like to know what you're thinking." And I'm like, that is just the thesis of how these movies like write women right there. She's a neurosurgeon.
Yeah,
she's a fucking neurosurgeon.
Well, she's thinking about his brain, dude. What do you want her to be thinking about? Like that's.
She's like, do you have? She's like actively evaluating him for CTE.
She's a neurosurgeon that like all of a sudden is never in the hospital anymore. She's like always at these.
Well, there is a
races.
scene where she's like on the phone and like a guy comes out and he's like, "There's like an emergency," and she's like, "I'm on the phone with Tom Cruise." Shut the fuck up! Like, it's great. It's great. No, that's the movie though. It's this bouncing back and forth. Like there's no substance there. It's guys rear-ending each other. It's the end of Top Gun where he's like, "You can ride my ass any day, Maverick. I love you." Like that's what it is.
Tom Cruise
back
just
to your
getting mixed signals about those last two sentences.
To go back to your question about like, you know, what I prefer if Days of Thunder wasn't guys rear-ending each other and rubbing up on one another. Of course not. Like that's the tactile. That's the brotherhood.
That's the brotherhood.
What's going on over there?
What do you guys?
Just a little rubbing, Harry.
Harry hog, and we're just rubbing each other.
What in the hell is going on? Just a little rubbing, Harry. Rubbing's racing.
How'd you sum up your race today?
It was good. You know, the car feels great. I think the team's done an amazing job. It's just a shame about the contact with Sonny. You hate to see that happen.
Tristan, before we wrap this episode up, I have a quick little game for you. It's called NASCAR or porn star.
Okay, all right.
Aaron and I have got a few names for you. I've written 20. I don't know if we have overlap.
Jeez.
I wrote 14. We have, I think, like 2.
We have Dick Trickle on there, so we can go ahead and get rid of that one.
Yeah, sorry, I spoiled that one earlier.
Okay, Aaron, why don't you kick us off?
Okay. Ann Chester.
Ann Chester?
Yes.
That's probably a porn star.
NASCAR.
Oh my god.
From like the 1950s. So she only had like 2 starts, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, a lot of these aren't like mainstream NASCAR drivers or mainstream porn stars. Well, maybe some of them. I don't know. I don't.
I recognize a couple of these names.
All right, here's one for you. Ricky Johnson.
Porn star.
Hey, nice. Good one.
Sorry. I got to pick a different one because this one made me laugh. Larry Mack.
Larry Mack? I'm like, if that is a porn star, like what's he's macking on like, you know, box? Like what is the joke there? That's probably a NASCAR driver.
Yes,
nice.
Good job.
Okay.
Yeah, and
All right.
I tried to curveball you because that's his nickname or his shorthand. His actual name is Larry McReynolds.
All right.
Leonard McKinsey.
Here's one for you. Worth McMillian.
Worth McMillian. NASCAR?
That's a NASCAR driver.
All right, okay.
Very good.
J Mac.
Wait, what was the last one?
Larry
Mack and J Mac?
No, I got J Mac.
Okay, so this is like the Mac Bros. One of them wears red, one wears green, maybe.
Yeah.
Or is one a porn star? J Mac is probably a porn star.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
Good one.
Very
Good one.
recognizable.
I'm doing great.
Appendage on that man.
Yes. Okay.
The quick agreement.
Which one?
What do you think about Stingray Rob?
Okay, I know that's a NASCAR.
Ooh, nice. Okay, got
Yeah.
one you knew.
I actually looked that one up.
Fifi Scott.
Fifi Scott. Fifi feels to me like kind of a porn star name, so I'm going to go with that's a porn star.
That's another 1950s NASCAR
God,
driver.
the 1950s NASCAR drivers, they're like all porn star names.
See, and you guys are like, oh, does it make sense that they're all named Bubba?
It does.
Speaking of, where'd he go? Jimmy Budd.
Jimmy Budd. God, that could really go either way. I'm going to say porn star.
That's a porn star.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
I'm doing
It
so
really is a
good.
shot in the dark, man.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson.
Oh, come on. That has to be a porn star, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What about Wally Leatherwood?
Wally.
None of these are made up.
Leatherwood?
Leatherwood.
Leatherwood. A porn star.
That's a NASCAR driver.
God damn it. Curveball on that one.
Jimmy Johnson.
What, like the sandwiches?
Yeah, sure.
Jimmy Johnson. That's a NASCAR driver.
Yep.
Hey, nice. Okay, that's a big one.
Yeah, I think I've heard him.
Casey Kane.
Porn star.
That's a NASCAR
God,
driver.
I don't even know why I guessed that. I should have guessed
Yeah.
the other one.
Buckshot Jones.
Buckshot Jones. Damn, yeah, that could really go either way. Because like it could be like leaning into the redneck of it all, or the, the finishing blow kind of thing. It's probably a NASCAR driver.
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, how about Dick Passwater?
His name is both an insult and a command. Dick, comma,
Passwater.
Dick, pass water. Give it to me, Red Apple Ale. How do you get to that? That's to be fake.
Oh, Jesus.
That's NASCAR.
That's NASCAR.
Okay, all right.
Very nice.
I think it's too obvious.
I don't want to watch a Dick Passwater flick.
I would tune in.
How many more you got, Aaron? Because I got plenty over here.
I mean, I can read off the remaining ones. Anita Softwood.
Okay, all right. That's a porn star.
Yeah. A few of them got to be easy.
Yeah, Wilma Dickfit.
I never heard that one. That's pretty good. What about Rocco Siffredi?
Rakosa?
Rocco Siffredi.
Oh, Siffredi. Wait, you can just add "sa" to the beginning of any normal name. Sir James. I'm Sir Tristan. What's up, guys? Rocco Siffredi. That's a porn star.
That's a porn star.
Oh my god, I'm so good at this. I'm a secret porn fan and NASCAR fan. You guys just don't know.
Yeah, you thought it was a secret.
Catherine Legg.
Yeah, that's probably a porn star.
NASCAR driver.
From the 50s, right?
No, a current NASCAR driver.
Oh, damn.
Also, I think it's actually pronounced leggy. But
Leg works better.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw you a softball here. How about Kurt Busch?
Oh, that's a NASCAR driver.
There you go.
Yeah, I know that one.
Let's go back to the family. Christy Mack.
Oh my god, we're back to the Mack family?
Yeah.
What did I say the last one was?
You said J Mac was porn.
And I was right?
Yeah, and you said Larry Mack was
a NASCAR. And I was right about that. So
Yeah.
Christy Mack. Porn.
Yep.
Nice.
Nice.
What about Junior Johnson?
Little Dicky. I'm going to say that's a NASCAR driver.
That is a NASCAR driver.
Nice.
Okay, I got like 3 more, I think.
All right, I'll cut mine
This is
down.
my favorite game, by the way. You guys don't know how much I love like name humor. I know it's mean to make fun of people's names, but
Well, a lot of these aren't their real, their stage names or their, performer names.
Mm.
Except
I'm
for
just
like
trying
the
to
NASCAR
justify.
drivers. Then you really do have parents who name you like Tablecloth Jones.
Tyroyal Smoochie Wallace.
He's got 2 first names.
Torque Lewis. All right. Wesley Pipes.
That's probably a porn star.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about Rob Diesel?
Okay, that has to be NASCAR, right?
That's a porn star.
God damn it.
I'm not gonna look him up, but just based on the last name, is that the one black guy with like the really giant dick?
I didn't get that far into my research,
Okay.
but I'll
Not
find
that
out.
I would know. I don't know. I'm just asking.
No, I'll look him up.
Tom Cruise.
Save
might
search
know.
off. Don't be a bitch. Tyler Nixon.
Porn?
Another?
Yeah.
Porn star?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fame, big one. Red Farmer.
Is there a blue farmer?
Is there a Mrs. Farmer?
Red farmer?
Red Farmer.
R-E-D-D, right?
R-E-D.
Oh, just, okay. Like the color.
Yes.
That's a NASCAR driver.
That is a NASCAR driver.
Okay.
Okay, this will be my last one because I think I ran out of names.
All right, I got.
But feel free. Well, I can't answer because you sent me your list. Willpower.
Porn.
Nope. But he's not a NASCAR driver either. He's an IndyCar driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little curveball there.
I get half point.
Yeah, I'll give you half point on that one.
All right, couple more over here. Legrand Wolf.
It sounds like a shitty Tarantino villain.
Legrand.
Legrand.
Hey, Bow Wow.
La Lobo Grande. Jeff, I do believe that is a NASCAR driver.
That is a porn star. How about Harry Gant?
If you can have Harry Hogg in Days of Thunder, you can have Harry Gant in the NASCAR.
That's right. You sure can. Tank Joey.
Porn star.
Bingo. How about John Strong?
Porn star.
That's correct.
Okay.
2 more here. Ryan Driller.
Driller? Does he even know her?
Go with your instinct.
That's porn.
That's right.
Okay.
Last one. Sterling Marlin.
Like the fish? What? That's probably a porn star.
That's a NASCAR driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up watching Sterling Marlin. Casey Kane too.
Casey Kane, yeah, he's a good driver.
Yeah, fun fact about Sterling Marlin, he I think it was like what, 2001, 2002 season? No, it was like 2002 or 2003. He crashed and like broke his neck and was like out for like the rest of the season, so he had to be replaced with one of the guys that I considered putting on this list, which is Jamie McMurray, and won in his second race. So there's a little Days of Thunder-esqueness to it.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the... Sorry, I don't mean to go back into talking about the movies, but that was something that I kind of thought too, where they were like, it was like starts off like really crappy, and then he's like coming on like really hot. He's won like 5 of the last 6 races, and I was like, dude, you're not Shane Van Gisbergen. You're like, he's like the only dude who's doing that right now is like a rookie or close to it. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, we watched it. They lived it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way the news goes. We have reached the end of Hard Tickets. The time has come for us to decide which movie are we going to see. Are we going to go see the new, shiny, clean F1 Oscar nominee, Oscar winner for Best Sound? Or are we going to go revisit Days of Thunder, panned upon release, 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, now sort of getting a reevaluation? Guys, I'm really curious. Tristan, I stole this from you. I want to hear your hard ticket first.
I'm not mad. I'm furious. My hard ticket goes to Days of Thunder.
Ooh.
And I'm not going to say it was close. It's not a narrow margin, but F1 I still enjoyed.
Yeah. Despite
my hatred of it before I'd even seen it. It won me over. I liked F1. I thought it was pretty good. I like a movie looking like a beautiful movie. I like being able to see the air and like the dust and all that crap, like the sunshine and just the vibes of Days of Thunder. You can't beat them. I know it is just Top Gun. I know it's Top Gun with cars. That's okay. I drive cars. That's a little more relatable to me than the jet planes and everything. So there's just something about Days of Thunder that it's like I watch both these movies on a Sunday afternoon, perfect Sunday afternoon, like lazy Sunday movies.
That's true, yeah.
Watch it, with your dad or something on TNT, TBS, the CW, ESPN,
Pornhub.
So yeah, it goes to Days of Thunder. It's a great movie. I'd say it's great. I would say it was legitimately like a movie that I really enjoyed. I was laughing, I was crying, I was jumping up and down. I did a fist pump at the end when they were running the freeze frame and everything. I thought it was great. I like it's like a sports movie. Like I don't know anything about boxing, but you watch Rocky and you're just like locked in, even though it's just 2 guys punching each other. This is a movie about 2 guys butting their little cars up against one another, rear-ending each other. And
rubbing, yeah.
They're rubbing, and it's exciting. So I like Days of Thunder, man. I got to go with it. F1. Would it have beat out like Ford v Ferrari and Gran Turismo? Maybe. You know, I think this movie's got a lot going for it. Like Top Gun Maverick had a lot going for it. But it's just a little too good. It's a little too perfect.
Too good? Okay,
Yeah,
too perfect.
It's too clean.
Sanded down.
It's a little too sanded down, yeah. A little too, like Brad Pitt, you know. It's like, have a Twinkie, dude. It's okay.
Well, that was Tristan. Aaron, we brought you on for this. You made us cover these movies. You forced us.
Yeah, at gunpoint.
Yeah. He's got the gun on the table, by the way. Aaron, what do you think?
So if you listen to the episode that I was on back when we did The Descent versus Barbarian, I said that I will sometimes be more inclined to pick something that I haven't seen in theaters versus something that I have seen in theaters.
Mhm.
But that does not mean that I am unwilling to go back and rewatch something. And F1 technical it's great. It's a technical marvel. It showcases a lot of the stuff that I really loved about Top Gun Maverick and why I saw that movie, no joke, off work time, maybe like 3 times in the theaters, and then while at work, another like 3 or 4 times.
Damn.
Just because we had periods where like nothing was going on, so I would just sit in on a movie. So it's incredible to watch in the theaters. But at home, and I think just overall, I disliked it more this time around than I did the first.
Ooh.
And I liked it the first time, and I still like it, but it went from decent to serviceable.
Yeah.
It's just fine. A lot of the stuff that you said is exactly what my gripes are. It's just very sanded down. It's very clean and pristine. It's very corporate. It's just like the cars. I don't feel like it has the personality, the fun, the beauty, the excitement that especially old school NASCAR, but a movie, especially like Days of Thunder, does have. I find the characters more entertaining. I find the story more fun, even if they are pretty similar in general and just lesser done Top Gun. Also, the racing scenes are cool in F1, but with the exception of like the last race at Abu Dhabi, where, he finally gets that part where like he's flying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting a little bit of one battle after another vibes with like the road thing with the POV.
Yeah.
That's cool and all, but every single instance of racing in Days of Thunder was fun.
Exhilarating.
Like you're having them jump out of the car to fight the crew because they're eating ice cream. You're having dudes crash into each other. You're having them literally like rent cars because they're so rich they can afford it just to do bumper cars on a public road. It's awesome. Also, I love Carrie Condon. She's a great actress.
Yes.
She is actually going to be in a movie that on my podcast you subjected me to.
Yes, I did.
But she's a more interesting character. But man, you can't get past 90s Nicole Kidman. Ooh, good Lord.
Yes.
Good Lord in heaven.
Yeah.
So, even though I said that I would have no problem going back to rewatch something, Days of Thunder is just such a better and more entertaining movie.
I'm so surprised. I really am. I mean, maybe. I kind of predicted, Tristan, that you would do this. Aaron, I actually didn't know which way you were going to go. But yeah, I mean, you look at the reception both of these movies got, and it's like, F1 would be the clear winner in a lot of people's minds. Here's my analogy of F1. I think you look at all of the technical prowess, it was nominated for all of the things it does filmically that are super progressive, and it's going to do some cool things. It's going to pave the way. Like the cameras that they used in Maverick on the planes, they're like a quarter of the size they were now, and they put on these F1 cars. Like the technology just keeps getting better. The movies that they utilize it for, do they keep getting better? Because those technical things are like a fine top shelf whiskey, right? And then Joseph Kosinski comes in and he writes a script that's just a big ice cube in the middle of it, and he plops it down, and now you're watering down your whiskey.
Yeah.
I drink it neat. You know what Days of Thunder is? It's a nice cold beer.
It's a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
And it's the one I'm reaching for. My hard ticket is also going to Days of Thunder. I am kind of surprised that this is such a blowout. Although,
is this I don't remember everybody's choices of all the episodes where you've had like a third or fourth person on there. Has there ever been a clean sweep?
For Big Shark, we all chose Big Shark over Sharknado after seeing it in theaters. But I think this is our second clean sweep. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
NASCAR, the superior sport.
It's just like,
it's a good analogy, Jeff. Like the giant ice cube in the middle of the whiskey. Like F1's an oxymoron. Like it is this movie that is so sleek and so lean, but at the same time runs 2.5 hours. It doesn't waste any of that runtime. Like all the characters and everything it sets up, like
They get their moments, yeah.
They get their moments. It's there, but it's like it's too much. It's just too. It needs to slim down a little bit and not be so. There's only so much you can take of this just continual just perfection. Like it needs that kind of flabbiness in there at least a little bit, in my opinion. I don't know. That's. I think it's a good analogy. The ice cube's nice there at first, but then it melts, and you're like,
and over the course of 2.5 hours, that's going to just be
gone.
watered whiskey right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, as you were describing it, I was thinking like it's a tech demo.
Yeah.
It's like, look what we can do, and it's like, yeah, that is really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
it's your
What
friend
else?
showing you a video, and then the video keeps going, and you are in the middle of something, and the video keeps going.
It's a shame because I really do love like the climax of F1. Like I love that like flow state. I'm flying, nothing but net there at the end. That is an awesome scene. And Aaron, like the comparisons of one battle after another, I think
that's there.
Yeah, that's there for sure. It's been 2025 was a year of strapping a camera onto the front of a car and just letting it go. And it's great. It's great. It's a shame. What I would change about F1 I think it's structural things. And I don't think I'd change anything about Days of Thunder. I let it just be what it is.
Yeah, like I said, it's a cold beer on a summer's day at golden hour, which it always is.
It's always golden hour.
One last thing, just as like a capper to both of these movies, which I also think is kind of one of the reasons why I picked Days of Thunder over F1. Days of Thunder's score is not as like, blaring guitar and a standout as Top Gun is, but you kind of have like that, that one, motif that keeps playing and it plays during the freeze frame, and it's an awesome thing to end with. F1, we got Ed Sheeran. And he's driving it around the desert. Isn't that cool, guys?
Yeah, the Anthony Bourdain of cars. Well, that's going to do it for us on this episode of Hard Ticket. Aaron, thank you for commandeering our show in a way that was enjoyable for all of us.
I am the captain. Look at me.
We didn't watch any porn, but we did talk about porn, so in a way, your love matchup sort of spiritually made it onto the show.
Yeah,
right?
There we go.
Why don't you tell people where they can listen to your podcast?
Yeah, so I am the co-host of the Head on a Stick podcast, so you can find us on Twitter at Head on a Stick Pod, and Instagram, Head on a Stick Podcast, _s between each of the words. Spotify, I think we technically also upload to Apple, but we don't really pay attention to that one.
Neither do we.
But, obviously, be sure to follow us on there, rate 5 stars. Also, by the time this episode comes out, I believe we will have our second episode of Doc on a Stick.
I believe so, yeah.
Same Twitter account, but we do have a different Instagram account for that one. That's just Doc on a Stick Pod, all one word. And so you can find all the stuff on there. And same thing. Like it, listen to it, rate it 5 stars. Make sure that we surpass your guys' average rating, even though you have more ratings than us.
Yeah. If you are a fan of debauchery, make sure you check out these boys and their Rowdy, what's his last name? Rowdy
Burns.
Rowdy Burns podcast. I don't know. It's a great time. Tristan and I are loyal listeners.
Yes.
You can follow our podcast on Instagram and Blue Sky at Hard Ticket Pod, all lowercase, all one word. You can follow me on Letterboxd at Jeff Blogus, all lowercase, all one word. Aaron, you're on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I am. I don't normally pimp it out on my show, but it's Aaron Radcliff, all one word. There's no E at the end of Radcliffe. I'm an American. I'm not English.
Yeah, it's like a really awesome cliff.
Yeah. Even though my co-host, every time he types out my last name, there's always an E. I'm like,
he spells my name wrong too, and it's the same as his.
Wrong, yeah.
Well, it took my grandmother 20 years to finally write Aaron correctly because there'd always be an extra R or something.
Aaron. Tristan, where can people follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Letterboxd, Tristan Moore. You can follow me on Instagram at Tristan__less. Email the podcast, hardticketpodcast@gmail.com. Send us some more recommendations. If you want a guest on the show, we're always open to hearing any sort of feedback. Rate us 5 stars. We gotta beat the Head on a Stick guys. Someone rated us 1 star very early in our inception, so now we have a 4.8. It's because I got into a fight with a guy on Reddit. So it's my
I was gonna say I gave you guys 5, so it's not me. There's no it's a friendly rivalry.
So you have to listen to the podcast to rate. So the guy actually did click on the show, and I'm imagining him clicking on it. He's like, this guy's such an idiot. And he clicks on it and listens to the song, and he's like, so this is actually pretty awesome.
That's the best feedback we've got is on our theme song for sure.
God, there was one guy for our episode on Melancholia. he commented. It was something like, I don't remember exactly what it said. It was something like inane ramblings or amateurish ramblings.
Oh, I saw
and,
this.
And unnecessary like shots of like conservatives in the free market.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yes.
There's always one, Aaron.
And it was like Jeff was just like, yeah, it's not your taste, man. That's fine. Like, just he was like so nice about it.
So restrained, knowing that, man. Anyway, Mitch, if you're listening, sorry. We know you love it, but F1 is a dad movie, and Mitch, you're a double dad now, so congratulations.
Mitch watched this on an
that.
airplane.
On an airplane?
Yeah.
I watched it on a laptop, so it's basically the same.
I guess it is kind of similar, yeah.
Anyway, next week we're going to be taking another small break from our regularly scheduled program. We've got a little special coming out, a little clip show, some of our best moments from season 1, but we'll be coming back to Hard Ticket the following week. So, as always, thank you for listening. Thank you, Jared Tadlock, for designing our brand elements, keeping our podcast looking fresh. Thank you, Aaron Griffin, for mixing and mastering our theme song, sung by yours truly in a truly awful falsetto. We'll see you guys at the movies. As always, bye.
What does he say? He says,
I'll race you there.
He says,
I'll race you there.
God bless America. God bless our troops. And gentlemen, start your engines!
That would make more sense at the beginning, right?
It's a hard